I have been driving the same delivery route in Idaho for almost 12 years, home every single night. Saturday is laundry day in our house and has been for as long as we have been married. My wife works at a law firm as a paralegal. She has been there for the last 8 years. On the Saturday I am about to tell you about, I was doing the laundry like I have done many times before, pulling pants out of the washer, checking pockets the way you do, because nobody wants to put a soggy receipt through the dryer. And I pulled a USB drive out of the back pocket of her work pants. I plugged it into my laptop that night after she went to bed. There were two folders on it. The first folder was labeled with her boss's last name, full of case documents from the firm where the dates on the files did not match the dates the firm had filed them with the court. She had been backdating legal files for him. The second folder was photographs, 37 of them. My wife and her boss in hotel rooms, restaurants, his car in the firm's parking garage. They were time-stamped going back about 11 months, some of them in a city about 90 miles north of where we live, the same city she had told me she was going to for paralegal seminars 4 separate times in the last year. Every one of those trips matched a folder on the drive, every single one. Now here is the thing. Idaho is a no-fault state when it comes to granting a divorce, but Idaho lets the court consider fault when it comes to spousal maintenance, what most people call alimony. I have never heard it called spousal maintenance, and I knew the photographs on a USB drive I had taken from her laundry were not going to be enough on their own. Any attorney worth a dime was going to ask me how I came to have that drive in the first place. I needed evidence that was mine, evidence I had gathered myself, legally. So I did two things over the next 21 days. First, Idaho is a community property state, which means our cars are jointly owned by both of us. I am a co-owner of the vehicle she drives, and under Idaho law, a co-owner can place a GPS tracker on a vehicle they own. I bought a small GPS unit online for about $80 and put it on her car the next morning. Second, I picked up a voice-activated recorder. And before you ask, no, I did not put it in her car. Putting a recorder in a vehicle to capture conversations I am not a part of is a felony in Idaho under Code 18-6702. What I did was put one in our living room. Idaho is a one-party consent state. I am a party to any conversation that happens in my own home. Inside of 21 days, I had GPS data showing her car at the same hotel 90 miles north on 3 separate occasions. She had told me she was at her sister's house, and I had 2 phone calls recorded in our living room, one with her boss, one with a friend, where she said things in plain English that confirmed every photograph on that drive. I also pulled the joint credit card statements and highlighted about $6,400 in hotel rooms, restaurants, and gas station receipts on highways she had no business being on. Then I made an appointment with the divorce attorney. I walked into his office with the USB drive, the GPS log, the audio files, and the highlighted credit card statements. He spread it all out on his desk and looked at me one time. Then he explained Idaho to me. Idaho is one of only 9 community property states in the country. Everything we had built together in 15 years was presumed to be 50-50, but there is a case in Idaho from 2013 where the state Supreme Court said, even in a no-fault filing, the court can still consider misconduct when it comes to support. Adultery is one of the 7 recognized fault grounds, and every piece of evidence I had brought him proved it. Marital waste was also a factor. Every dollar she had spent on the affair from the joint account, the court could reimburse me off the top before any property got divided. I filed 2 weeks later. She was served on a Saturday morning while I was at a hardware store on purpose. When I came home, She was standing in the kitchen with the divorce paperwork and asked me what this was. I looked at her one time and asked her if she wanted me to send the second folder on that USB drive to the State Bar Association. She got quiet, then she got angry. She told me a truck driver was not going to outsmart a paralegal in a courtroom. She told me I wasn't smart enough. I did not say one word back to her. I had already said everything I needed to say through my attorney 4 days earlier. 9 weeks later, we sat down with her and her attorney at a settlement conference. She walked into that room thinking my evidence was the photographs and the GPS and the recordings. She had no idea about the third thing, because here is what she did not realize. When she had been working from home one weekend on her laptop a couple of months before I found the drive, she had backed up her work folder onto that same USB stick, and she had drafted a separation agreement on her firm's template, already filled out, both of our names, our address, our cars, our retirement accounts, our home. It had a signature line at the bottom waiting for my signature, drafted on company time, on company software, with both of our personal information attached. She had been getting ready to put paper in front of me, paper she had drafted at her firm, and asked me to sign away half of what we had built in 15 years. She forgot it was on the drive. When my attorney pulled that document out and laid it in front of her, woman looked like she saw a ghost. Her own attorney had not known it existed, because here is what that document did to her case. Drafting a separation agreement on her firm's software, on her firm's time, in a marriage where she was sleeping with her firm's senior partner, that was no longer just adultery. It was a paralegal using firm resources to gain personal advantage in a matter she was personally involved in. It was a state bar violation on top of the adultery. Her attorney asked for a 10-minute recess. When they came back, the fight was over. She walked away with no spousal maintenance, none, because under Idaho's two-part test, the adultery evidence killed her case before it started. I got back the $6,400 in marital waste off the top of the estate. I kept the marital home. She kept her car and her retirement. And I kept the USB drive sealed in a safe deposit box at my brother's place, where it still sits to this day, because that drive is the only insurance policy I am ever going to need. His wife also found out that he was cheating on her. Remember, he was one of the senior partners of the law firm. She filed for divorce and she got the house and alimony for 10 years at $5,700 per month. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I will be getting married again, ever.